Good morning, it's Z Beats. Just thought I would give you a little explanation of how I mess with my compositions. I've got this composition right here. It's got about, I don't know, 10 or 11 tracks. So it's a pretty big project, and right now it sounds kind of dry. If I just were to unmute everything and just that doesn't sound very good. There's instruments dominating other instruments, and it just sounds like just not pleasing to the ear. So I'm just gonna open up my mixer here and work with each instrument one at a time. So I'm going to solo out the first instrument here on the left, which is, I believe, the snare drum. Hit play. Oh no, it's the hi-hat. So that's just a regular old hi-hat. I don't know if you can hear it. On 16th notes. And hi-hats love reverb, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to my inserts, go down to my reverb. This is my favorite reverb right here, Verb Suite Classics. Now if I already, you can hear that that's too much. So I'm going to dial it down about right there. You want a little bit, but you do not want too much. I like to make my drum sound realistic. And realistically, there will be reverb inside the room. So I'm going to turn it down a little bit on the master mixer. And I'm going to move to my next instrument, keeping the hi-hat going. Actually, I'm going to add a pan, an auto pan. So I'm going to come here to modulation, auto pan it. This just makes it move from the left speaker to the right speaker as it plays. So I want to do that kind of delicately like that. Now the music is kind of traveling between speakers, and it sounds pretty good. I feel like I could turn it up a little bit. Let's see as we go to the other instruments. This is just some strings, so I always bring it down right here to this level before I see what to do. And I'm gonna put a flanger on the strings. I'm gonna go over here to modulation, flanger right here. Gives it a little more body. I think there might be even a specific setting for, yeah, strings. I like how that sounds. I'm gonna put a little bit of reverb on it. And again, you just want to go to what's pleasant to the ear. Right now that sounds pretty good to me. So I'm going to jump out of there, and I'm going to put a compressor on here just because I don't want it to dominate other instruments. So I'm going to compress the frequencies so that I can make sure to have room for other instruments like this one right here. See, now that is loud. That's my piano that I played. So I'm going to put that here. First thing I know I need to do is I need to put a compression on that bad boy. So I get my compressor on there. I might add a little bit of reverb. Most things like reverb. Yeah, just like that. Boom. Everything is sounding good together. Got my levels just about equal. Let's see what we got next. Can't quite tell yet. More keys. So since I already put a flanger on the first set of keys, I'm gonna put a flanger on the second set of keys too. Oh wait, no, this is strings. My bad. Roads. Those are the keys right there, or the roads. That sounds pretty good. And I'm gonna put a compressor on that as well. Right now it sounds pretty good, like nothing's dominating. When I'm sequencing, some of those instruments might not ever come and play with one another. I might have to X them out so that they might not play in unison. So these instruments might not even play together, but you want to mix it so it sounds like you could if you wanted to. That's obviously my bass drum. I'm going to put it down right here. For my bass drums, I like using tube compressors because it doesn't get rid of that punch, but it does compress the sound a little bit. So when you're in your car trying to impress whoever, that punch is going to be a good punch. There's my snare. Too loud. Lower the snare immediately. It's already got some reverb on it, so I'm just gonna throw a regular compressor. Sounds good. Here's my synthesizer. Immediately I can tell it needs some reverb. Once I put my reverb, I'm gonna compress it a little bit. That's good. And I'm gonna start to mute some of the early ones just so I can hear these better. So here's my 808. I'm gonna lower it down. I'm gonna go to my bass amp right here. I'm gonna select the effect compressor, turn that on. I'm gonna go to the master. I'm gonna make sure it's tuned nicely. I'm gonna turn my equalizer on that I did earlier. And now I got my bass sounding real good. Now I want this to stand out a little bit. So I know it needs compression. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give this bad boy the tube compressor. Sort of bring it out a little bit. I can also accomplish the same thing by throwing some reverb. You can see how it's kind of coming out a little bit more now. And in the final instrument, that's just my little synthesizer that when I add some intensity. So really all I want to do there is compress. Then I can go to my master mix I like to go to the Ozone, see if it sounds good when I stereoize it. Maybe give it a little width. Ooh, that was nice right there. Oops, monitor's blacking out. That's okay. I'm gonna go to my Neutron 2, which is the final kind of mastering thing. I got my EQ looking pretty good. That's how I like it to look, diagonal down to the right a little bit. But I will put this featured track assistant in case it sees anything automatically that it feels is out of balance or out of tone with something else. I see it added a little more compression and the exciter right here. And now my mix is sounding pretty good. So I can turn off my mixer, and then I would come here and I would do all my sequencing. And that's it for this morning. Have a wonderful weekend. Showed you how easy it is to, once you get in your workflow, mix something, make it sound much better for your final product before you master it, sequencing. Alright, this is Z Beats Music. Talk to you soon.